there's bi-directional communication, you said, between the brain and the gut. So they're constantly talking to each other.
Yes. So we have a hardwired connection in the form of the vagus nerve. So that's the hardwired connection. And we know that signals go both directions, from gut to brain and brain to gut, but they also signal to each other in other ways, so via the immune system and via hormonal systems. So there's chemical messaging that happens between the two as well. A really interesting example, I think, is the effect of stress. So we know that just even fairly low levels of stress, so obviously you're taking in information visually and other forms of communication in terms of hearing and interactions with people. And that's nothing to do with your gut, but we know that when people are under stress, that can cause leaky gut. So it's quite clear that's one clear example of brain to gut communication. I suppose another one might be when people are nervous going for job interviews, for example, or other situations where they get butterflies in their stomach, or even gut symptoms like diarrhea, for example. And in anxious states that can happen. So that's another example of brain to gut signaling. And then actually a lot of the neurotransmitters are manufactured by the bacteria in our gut. So serotonin is in proportion, about 90% or so of it is produced in the gut, which I was never really taught or aware of in my training. But yeah, the connections between the two are just increasingly becoming known, and just absolutely fascinating.
That's the first time I hear of that, but so we can confidently perhaps call the gut the second brain.
Yes, it has been called that, yes.
It has been called.
It has been, yes.
Amazing.